I want to talk about your great sin and my great sin. Sin being a transgression of the will of God. Most of us are somewhat familiar with the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. Thou shalt not have any other gods before thee. Thou shalt remember the Sabbath. And thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not covet. You have the 10, and we call them the sins of commission. A few weeks ago I talked about the iron rule. That is the sins of commission. Things that you have done and things that you know you have done that are wrong, you will be held accountable. But you might think, well, I've lived a pretty good life so far. A few weeks ago I talked about the silver rule. That is the idea of the sins of omission. Not only will you be judged for the things that you did do, you will be judged for the things you did not do. Therefore, him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So think about all the times you had a chance to do something good, had a chance to help somebody, but chose not to. You will give an account for those also. But it gets worse than that. It says in Matthew 12, 36 and 37 that every word that we speak we will give an account of. Every word that you speak, every dirty word that you have said, every nasty thing that's come out of your mouth, every bit of gossip, you give an account for. So think about all the things that you have said in your life already. You'll give an account. But it gets worse than that. In Matthew 5, Jesus said, whosoever looks upon a woman to lust after her in her heart has committed adultery with her. And so not only will you be judged for what you have done, not only will you be judged for what you have not done, not only will you be judged for the words that come out of your mouth, but you will also be judged for the thoughts. For the things that you have thought about doing that are not right. Some people might be surprised. I know I have told this in my psychology class before. But on any search engine over the internet, the word that is typed more than any other word is the 4-letter word PORN. There are more hits on that than any other subject in history. Sins of the mind. Sins of thinking. And you will be held accountable. It also says in Romans 14:23 that if you do anything against your conscience, it will be held accountable before God. Well, what does that mean? That means if you are about to do something and you're not real sure and you think, I probably shouldn't do that. Guess what? If you go ahead and do it, God says it's sin. Even if there's nothing in it about the Bible. If you say, maybe I shouldn't go to this place, or I probably shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it anyway, the Bible says that is sin. But it gets even worse than that. The Bible says in Isaiah 64:6, it says, your righteousness is as filthy rags before God. What do you mean, my good works being righteous before God? How can that be sinful? Because God can see into the heart. And God knows that many times the righteousness we do, the motive up under that, the motive that spurs that is not righteous. And so you can do the right thing for the wrong reason. And there are plenty of people that do good things, but they do it with the wrong motivation, and God counts that as sin. But it gets worse than that. It says in Proverbs 21:4 that the plowing of the wicked is sin. What does that mean? Here's a guy that's just out taking care of business. He's just going through his daily routine, providing for his family. And God said that's sinful. How can that be? Well, I tell you how. Because if you get up and do not thank God for the life that you have, if you do not thank God for your family, if you go to work and even put in a good day's work and do not understand that it is God who provided you with that job, it is God who is looking after you, it is God who provides you with that paycheck. When you sit down at a table and do not say grace because you think, well, I got this all from my own work, then God counts that as sin because you have not given glory to the Creator of the universe. That is your great sin, and it is my great sin. How did you do? How do you think you're going to stand up before God when you have to give an account for all that?